In the starting of the movie, an author reads a book where he talks about a fairy tale, about how a princess lived in a castle where there was a dragon to guard her. That princess had a curse that she could not go out from there, and to break her sleep, a prince would come. Then we find out that all this is being read by a monster who tears the page of the book and says, "Does this ever happen? Can any prince save any princess?" After which we meet the movie's main lead character, who was a very scary and dirty monster named Shrek. He lived in a dirty swamp, bathed in it, used worms from there to brush his teeth, and ate animals' eyes. All the people living in a town called Duloc wanted to kill this monster so they could live safely. For this reason they once made a plan and went to Shrek's house to burn it down, but Shrek comes from behind and scares them. In reality, Shrek was not a bad monster, which is why he didn't kill anyone. He just scared them and chased them away, and outside his house he found a notice that said fairy tale characters were being captured. All the people living in the town who had fairy tale characters were called by the king. People were about to sell these characters for a few coins. Some of these characters were magical and some could even talk. Then we are introduced to a donkey. Someone says about it that this donkey can talk. Then the soldiers standing there say, "If this donkey talks, I'll give you 10 coins. But this donkey didn't want to go. That's why it doesn't say anything. Then some magical dust falls on it, and now this donkey starts flying and mocks everyone, saying, "Look, I can fly and I can talk too." But as soon as the magic's effect wears off, the donkey falls straight to the ground. All the soldiers run fast to catch it. It goes straight and hides in the forest, where it meets Shrek and hides behind him. Shrek scares the soldiers who come there and chases them away, after which what? Donkey starts following Shrek and says, "Bro, our team is totally solid. I'll stay with you." But Shrek liked to live alone. He even tries to scare Donkey. But was Donkey one to get scared? Donkey follows Shrek all the way to his house, but Shrek doesn't let him inside. That's why Donkey says, "Alright bro, I'll stay outside." When night falls, Shrek was enjoying his dinner. Somewhere Shrek feels that maybe he should feed Donkey, but still he was happy in his own world. Then one after another, lots of guests start arriving at Shrek's house. These guests were all those fairy tale characters. In reality, all this was done by the king. When the soldiers told the king that a monster lives here, to trouble this monster, the king sent all these fairy tale characters to Shrek's house. Annoyed by this, Shrek throws everyone out of the house. When he comes outside, he sees there are unlimited people living there. So he asks everyone, "Who sent you here?" So these fairy tale characters say, "Lord Farquaad sent us here." So Shrek says, "I'll go to the king right now and get you all out of here." Hearing this, these people get happy, thinking, "Great, we'll get our homes back." But Shrek didn't even know the way to the castle. When he asks anyone, none of the fairy tale characters were ready to go with this monster. So only Donkey raises his hand for him. Even though he didn't want to, Shrek has to take Donkey along with him. Here we see Lord Farquaad, who was troubling a small cookie a lot. Then a mirror is brought in front of Lord Farquaad. Lord Farquaad hadn't become king yet. That's why he asks the mirror, "How will I become king?" The mirror tells him, "You just have to get married and then you'll become king." That's why it tells Lord Farquaad about 3 princesses. The first princess was Cinderella, the second was Sleeping Beauty, and the third princess's name was Fiona, who lived in a castle guarded by a dragon. Then, without listening to the full story, Lord Farquaad chooses the third princess. But who will go there? Then the next morning, Shrek reaches Lord Farquaad to take back his home. But in reality, a competition was going on there to choose 2 soldiers. Lord Farquaad was a very cowardly prince. That's why he tells the soldiers that whoever wins will get the chance to bring the princess. In reality, he wanted to save his own life. Then Shrek enters there and everyone starts getting scared of him. Then Lord Farquaad says, "Whoever defeats this monster will go to bring the princess." Now Shrek was a huge guy. He knocks down all the soldiers easily. So what do they do now? They say Shrek has won, meaning now Shrek will go to bring the princess. Then a deal happens between Shrek and Lord Farquaad that if Shrek rescues the princess from that castle and brings her back, he will get his home, meaning his swamp, back. Donkey tries to convince Shrek a lot, saying, "This prince is very smart. He's made a fool of you. Don't fall into his trap." But Shrek says, "I want my home back. I can do anything for it." That's why Shrek doesn't listen to Donkey and doesn't even take him along. But was Donkey going to stop following Shrek? They travel a long way and finally reach a place where there was burning lava and, along with it, a huge castle. While crossing the bridge, Donkey gets scared, but still Shrek teases him and takes him far across the bridge. Now both of them had to find the dragon and the princess, where Shrek puts on armor and tells Donkey, "Go find the princess. I'll deal with the dragon." But by mistake, Donkey comes face to face with the dragon. After which the dragon gets angry and starts spitting fire everywhere. While trying to catch this dragon, Shrek ends up on its tail, but as soon as the dragon swings its tail, Shrek falls straight into the princess's room. The angry dragon breaks all the paths toward Donkey, but Donkey was very clever. As the dragon comes close, he starts praising it a lot, saying, "Oh my god, you look so beautiful." In reality, it was a female dragon, and Donkey keeps praising her, saying, "You look like you just came out of a parlor, and look at your teeth, so beautiful like pearls." The dragon spares Donkey and takes him along. On the other side, the princess realizes that a soldier has finally come to save her, and he is her first love. But Shrek picks her up and takes her along. Poor Fiona keeps saying, "You're a prince, you should come properly, sing a song and then propose to me." Shrek says, "There's no time for all that. We have to run." Then Fiona realizes that he hasn't even killed the dragon, and now they have to fight the dragon too. Poor Donkey was stuck with the dragon when Shrek comes, saves Donkey and ties a chain around the dragon's neck. As the dragon moves forward, it gets tangled. In the end, Shrek, along with Fiona and Donkey, starts moving forward on the bridge, but the dragon spits fire from its mouth, causing the bridge to break and burn. Still, Shrek saves both of them and finally gets out. Poor dragon is left alone again. After coming out, Fiona insists, "I want to see the face of the one who saved me." Shrek refuses, saying, "Don't look at my face. Lord Farquaad sent me to save you." Fiona says, "If he wants to marry me, he should have come here himself. I'm not going anywhere. Bring him here." After which Shrek shows his face. Fiona, somewhere, gets scared but doesn't say anything and says, "I'll only go with Lord Farquaad." Without listening to anyone, Shrek picks up Princess Fiona and sets off. After covering half the distance, when Shrek puts Fiona down, she says, "It's getting late. We'll stay here tonight. I need some things." After which, Fiona goes inside some rocks and says, "All right, I'll meet you in the morning." At night, when Shrek and Donkey were about to sleep, they start talking. Donkey says, "Why do you live so alone?" Shrek says, "No one talks to me. Since childhood I've looked like this, so people think I'm very bad. Everyone is scared to come near me, so who will I stay with?" To which Donkey says, "Bro, when I saw you the first time I wasn't scared at all." Shrek says, "Yeah, that's true, but no one else likes me." Fiona overhears all these things. Meanwhile, Lord Farquaad was very eager to see his princess. The next morning, Princess Fiona wakes up and starts singing, which causes a poor bird to die. She makes breakfast for Shrek and Donkey because of the conversation that happened. She tells Shrek, "I'm a bit embarrassed. We were fighting since we met yesterday, so have breakfast today and we have to go far, so let's move." After going a little further, some people in the jungle catch Fiona and try to flirt with her. But Fiona was very smart. She fights all those people one by one badly. Poor Shrek and Donkey were just standing on the side. Seeing such an amazing fight, Shrek asks, "How do you know all this?" Fiona says, "If you have to live alone, you have to learn all this." We find out that Shrek and Fiona's mentality is the same. They both start playing with each other and move forward happily. The next day, evening was about to fall and the sun was setting. Fiona says, "Look how tired Donkey is." In reality, they were very close to the castle, but still Fiona insists on staying for the night. Now, when Fiona and Shrek were sitting together eating something, Shrek thinks that maybe he should tell Fiona that he likes her, but Shrek doesn't have the courage. Meanwhile, Fiona also thinks that if he had said it himself, it would have been better. Donkey understands this and tells Shrek, "You should go talk to her because tomorrow she'll be gone." Shrek says, "I'm so ugly and bad looking, why would such a lovely princess marry me? She must be scared of me." Donkey says, "You'll find out later when you talk to her." Now it was dark, so Donkey thinks, "Let me go talk to Princess Fiona myself and tell her that Shrek likes her." But when Donkey goes inside, he gets scared and panics because there wasn't Princess Fiona but another female ogre. Donkey says to the female ogre, "Where have you taken Fiona? Bring our princess back." Then this female ogre says, "I am Fiona. I am that princess. Just look at me. Then Donkey says, what happened to you? You were completely fine a while ago. Fiona says, in childhood, a witch cursed me that as soon as evening falls and the sun sets, I become so ugly and only my true love can fix me. That's why I keep looking for my king so that with his first kiss, I'll become normal forever. But now Donkey tells Fiona about Shrek, that Shrek likes her. But Fiona says, I'm so ugly no one will like me. Shrek will leave me alone too. On the other side, Shrek comes to Fiona and thinks of proposing to her. With flowers in his hand as he moves forward, Fiona was saying, who would love such an ugly person? In reality she was saying it about herself, but Shrek thinks Fiona is talking about him. This causes a big misunderstanding, because of which the next morning Fiona thinks she'll talk to Shrek, and Shrek? He thinks Fiona called him dirty. That's why Shrek doesn't talk to Fiona at all and says, I heard everything. Fiona thinks Shrek knows about her ugliness. Then in the middle of their argument, Lord Farquaad arrives there. He fulfills his deal with Shrek and gives him his home back. Shrek was ready to leave from there, but then he goes to Fiona, and Lord Farquaad gets down on his knees and proposes to Fiona. Fiona gets annoyed seeing such a short prince, thinking, what kind of prince is this? But in reality she was also angry at Shrek, so she says yes to the marriage and says, the wedding won't be tomorrow, it'll be today. On the other side, Shrek in anger chases Donkey away too and says, I want to live alone. You won't come with me at all. After saying so many wrong things, Donkey feels very bad too and goes his own way. At night Shrek was all alone. Meanwhile, Fiona was preparing for her wedding. Donkey meets the dragon again, but this time, Donkey doesn't leave Shrek alone. He comes outside Shrek's house and says, half of this house is mine too. I helped a lot in saving the princess, so according to the deal, half this house is mine. Shrek says, since when did you come into this deal? Get out of here, this house is mine alone. After which the fight between them ends all the fights. Donkey tries to convince Shrek here, saying, you should talk to Fiona at least once. Shrek says, she thinks I'm so dirty, such an ugly monster, she doesn't even want to talk to me. Donkey says, I can't tell you anything. We weren't talking about you. Shrek gets excited and asks, what? Then who are you talking about? Donkey says, you should go ask Fiona about this. Shrek says, today is her wedding, how will I go to her? Then Donkey calls his girlfriend, the dragon. The dragon flies them straight to Fiona. Fiona's wedding with Lord Farquaad was about to happen when Shrek arrives in between and tries to convince Fiona, saying, Lord Farquaad is not a good person for you. He's marrying you to become king. Fiona says, what's it to you? Whether he marries me or not, it's not like you love me. But then Shrek proposes to Fiona, saying, I love you. Fiona says, I have to tell you something too. The sunset was about to happen. That's why as soon as the sunlight falls on Fiona, she turns into an ogre. All the people sitting there are shocked, saying, this is a female monster, how can she be a princess? Shrek also thinks, how did she change so much? Fiona says, this is what I wanted to tell you. But now Lord Farquaad gets angry. He says, I've married you. Take this princess back and lock her up, and I'm now the king here. Poor Shrek and Fiona were caught by lots of soldiers. Then Shrek whistles. Then the dragon arrives flying and eats Lord Farquaad straight away. After which Shrek kisses Fiona here. In a moment the whole curse starts changing with magic. But in reality Fiona doesn't become a normal human but stays as an ogre. Fiona thought her curse would end, but because of her true love she turns into an ogre too. After which Shrek and Fiona get married too. All the guests here were fairy tale creatures who were very happy seeing their wedding. Along with this, Donkey and the dragon's relationship starts too. They both set off for their happy life, and with this, the story of the prince and the monster ends here. Thank you for watching.